Welcome to the Winning in Business podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Rissy, and I love talking to business professionals, leaders, and entrepreneurs who are winning in business. Are you ready to reach your next level of success? If so, join us on the Winning in Business podcast as I interview entrepreneurs, business professionals, and leaders who share how they've risen to success. Before we begin, go ahead, hit subscribe and the notification button so you'll be notified each time a new episode is released. Plug in and settle in. You're about to be inspired to rise up to your next level of success. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Winning in Business. This is your host, Kelly Rissy. And today I am here with Adrian Rice. And I am so excited. You all are just going to love him. For almost 20 years, Adrian has helped leading companies grow and deepen relationships with their employees, sales teams, and customers. He's a native of St. Louis and graduated with honors from the University of Missouri-Columbia with a Bachelor's of Science degree in Business Administration. So if you're from the St. Louis area, you would go M-I-Z, and that would be
Z-O-U.
That's right. He's held sales, marketing, and management positions with leading companies such as Procter and Gamble, Edward Jones, Tiffany Co, and presently Buy Worldwide. As a business development director at Buy Worldwide, he partners with Fortune 500 companies to help solve their business challenges by influencing behaviors and inspiring organizational cultural change. And Adrian, it is so great to have you on today. Thank you for joining me.
And thank you for having me. And I must say, even though we're in the bi-state region, our company is pronounced BI Worldwide.
Oh,
super excited to be on the call. No worries.
Oh, okay. BI Worldwide. Perfect. Is that correct?
That's great.
Okay. And you know what? That is so funny because I almost asked that before I read it.
No, you're fine.
It'll be fine. Look at me. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Adrian and I, we've only known each other for like a month, and we met each other. And if you're watching this as a YouTube, you will be able to see his energy and his charisma. If you're listening, you'll be able to hear it. But I was immediately drawn to him just by his energy and presence in the room. That's what I'll say. So, Adrian, tell everybody, how did you get into doing what you do? You had a lovely long list of companies that you worked for, and you and I had the conversation that we both lived in California together. So I know being out in California was part of it. So I'll be quiet. You go ahead and talk.
No, it's all good. So we do share a commonality in California, and I'll tell everybody how I got there. I won't go through the whole resume. But essentially, it was 2005. I decided to go out west, young man, and strike my luck out there, see if I could find gold. I really wanted to move to LA. I had some cousins that lived there at the time, and I thought, okay, I'm by the Mississippi. They're by the ocean. They've got beach. We've got the McDonald's boat at the time. I thought it was maybe time to see the world. And so I started looking for a job out in LA, and I went to a career fair. I flew out there, went to this career fair. I met with Tiffany Co, who I had never been into a Tiffany Co store before. I didn't know anything really about jewelry or, luxury gifts at the time, but I had a background in sales and marketing. And they were actually looking for an outside sales rep. And so it wasn't going to be someone that was in the store helping customers that would come in with personal needs. It was someone that would have a territory and would call on companies to bring the blue box and the white ribbon into their company and celebrate their employees, their customers, and their sales teams. And I just thought that was an amazing job. I didn't even know this was an industry. And after a couple of interviews in 2 days, I got the job. And I decided to move out west. And I thought that I might be at Tiffany just for like a year to kind of get my feet wet and see what was out in LA. And almost 17 years later, I was still there enjoying every minute of it. But after about 17 years, I really wanted to kind of expand and grow on what I was doing. And so I found BI Worldwide. I had heard of them, of course, throughout the industry because it's a small industry. If you know, you know. And so I had heard about them over the years and just always heard great things. And the cool thing about BI Worldwide is that we're a global full service engagement company. And a lot of people say, well, what does that mean? Basically, it means we can help top leading companies on their employee engagement structure programs. We can help them on their sales effectiveness and channel partner programs, and then their customer outreach. So we can do everything. So instead of just selling the gift portion to a company, now I could hit so many more buckets with BI Worldwide.
That's excellent. Okay. And how long have you been there?
I started April of last year, so it's almost 1 year.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Now I have to ask, since I messed it up earlier, does the BI stand for anything?
It does, but then I'll have to give you all the traits.
Okay. I was just curious. Okay. So in this, well, and I have one more question before we move on. What was the most popular gift? And I guess like we can say what companies gifted, since that's, you know, what you did. What was the most popular Tiffany gift that companies gifted to their employees?
You know, it really ranged the gamut, but I would say barware was the top gift. So it was the set of 2 double old-fashioned glasses or champagne flutes or wine glasses or a water decanter. So everything in the barware family really went over well.
Okay. I was just curious. As someone who likes gifts, I just needed to know that.
That and a Tiffany pen. Those were the 2 big ones, at least in my territory.
I mean, I kind of feel like the other exciting thing is just the blue box with the white ribbon, right? I mean, that alone is exciting.
We always said, and our clients would even say, it doesn't even really matter what's in the box. It's like getting the excitement of the box, and then the gift is actually the extra bonus, but you're already amazed when you get the celebration of the gift in the bag and all of that.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so now we're going to move on to you. So what are some big ahas that you want to share that you feel like have contributed to your success?
You know, that's a really good question, Kelly. And I was kind of really thinking about this. And I think that one of the things that really was a through line throughout all of my previous employment in different companies in my career has been looking at problems as a journey, right? So you've got a problem. A lot of times we want to just rush to the solution, right? And so I think the challenges, and one of the things that I'll talk about today is how businesses can win, and how I've been successful is really looking at problems as a journey. And there's certain little areas along this path that you can plug in to make sure that you get to where you want to go.
Yes, I love it. Okay. So share more. Keep going.
So let's get on the journey, right?
Yes, exactly.
So, you know, the way I look at it is there's first 2 things. You've got a current state, and that's kind of where you are. And then you have a desired state, which is where you want to be. So if we look in my field, let's say, for instance, employee engagement. And I know a lot of companies are struggling with that right now because employees are really disengaged more than more than ever before. So employers know that that's the current state. We've got a lot of disengaged employees. And then the desire state, I want to get more of my employees engaged in our company, right? But how do you do that? So the first thing you do is you really have to set forth what your destination is. So now we know it's get more employees engaged, but what does that look like? Really get into the weeds on it. Is there a particular percentage? Are there different things that you want them to do? Are there different, KPIs, that you key performance index scores that you want them to have? So really get into the nuts and bolts of how you want to get to this destination. Okay. The second thing would be okay, now I know where I want to go. I know where I am. What roadblocks are preventing me from getting there? Right. I know I said it before. A lot of people, we just naturally want to jump to the solution. But if you don't really understand what's preventing you from getting success, you're not going to get there. So really hone in on what are the things that are preventing you from getting to where you want to be, right? And then the next thing would be drivers. So as we're talking about a journey, there's drivers behind the car. Who are your target audience members? Is it employees? Is it sales channel? Is it sales partners? Is it your customers? Whatever it might be, who are the target people that you're going after? Because if you don't identify who you want the message to reach, it'll just go everywhere, right?
Yes.
The next thing is, now that we know where we want to go, we know what's been preventing us from getting there, and we know who we want to address, we really now can really go into that solution, right? Because it's based on fact. And the way that I look at it at BI Worldwide is that we really take a look at solutions in 4 key buckets. Solutions could be, in terms of business, it could be a communications solution. In terms of customers, maybe people don't know about your product that you really want to sell and you really want to do gangbusters because that's your desired state, but maybe people don't really know about it. Maybe you don't have a robust marketing or communications plan. That's something that we can help you with, but that's one area. So communication is one of them. Education. Let's talk about employees. So maybe your employees aren't engaged on their job. They're not hitting their numbers. Maybe it's because they don't quite understand what they're supposed to be selling, right? Or what they're supposed to be doing. And so maybe there's an opportunity there for more robust training. Another solution bucket would be motivation. And I call it the fun stuff. That's the world of the gifts, the rewards, the pens, the luxury items, the trips, the travels. And we do all of that at BI Worldwide, but finding an engaging mix of solutions to really get people pumped up is a particular bucket that you can employ when you're looking at a holistic solution model. And then finally, updating. This is one that's often overlooked. Specifically when it comes to salespeople, we're really good at being competitive, right? And so we like to know where we are on the leaderboard. We want to know who is above us, below us. Are we on track or off track? And a lot of sales incentive programs go off track because you got this great program, you got this great destination, but nobody really knows where they are, right? And everything gets lost in the sauce. And so if you don't know if you're at the top of the board or at the bottom of the board, a lot of people just kind of like give up in the middle of the process. Mm-hmm. So having a solution that provides current updates on your success, where you are on the leaderboard, those are different strategies that you can employ. So let me just repeat that, just because there's 4 key buckets.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at solutions, right?
Right.
I can have a solution to communicate more effectively. I can have a solution that's going to help educate either my employees, my sales team, or my customers about my product or my service. Mm-hmm. I can have a solution that's going to motivate, and that could be something for a customer, like a customer loyalty program, where after you rack up so many points, you get XYZ, right? Mm-hmm. So there's an opportunity there to motivate your customers or motivate your internal team with sales awards, incentives, trips, and that nature. And then finally, updating. If I don't know as a customer how many points I racked up or how many times I've gone into the fast food place, and I can't really find that some type of spreadsheet or something online that shows me exactly where I'm at in terms of getting my free XYZ, I'm going to stop buying, right? Because it's not clear. If I'm a salesperson and I've got this great trip to Tahiti that everyone's talking about, but I really have no clue as to where I'm at on hitting those goals, or if I'm off, or if I need to do something better, I'm probably not going to make it to Tahiti. So updating your audience is a key part of this solution model.
Yeah, that's good. So I have a question for you. Have you used any part of this in your personal life?
That's a good question. I try to keep personal and professional separate.
Okay.
But here's the thing. The crazy thing is that in life, we're doing a lot of this without even knowing that we're doing this.
Well, and I asked that because for me, you finish. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
So to answer, long story short, yes, I have put all of these in place. Mm-hmm. Did I know I was doing it at the time? No, I'm not that methodical. But yes, communication. Like if you've got a business problem or a personal problem, if you're in a relationship with someone, right? Mm-hmm. What's the biggest issue with relationships? Communication breakdown. So maybe you can communicate better.
Yeah.
Education, if we're talking about a relationship, there's this whole thing about love languages and learning what your love language is and teaching your partner what your love language is. So that's part of the education, right?
Right. And
then motivation, what's going to excite you, right? And get you revved up and that sort of thing in terms of your personal goals, and I have a list of things that are on my bucket list. So that's my motivation to help me get to my goals. And then updating. I guess in my personal life, I do that. I do like a little weekly check-in at the end of the week. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of say, self, how was your week? And I answer back, self, it was good. I didn't get everything I needed to get done, but so I'll put that on to next week's list. But that's part of that update process, because if not, as you know, the weeks and the days go on and you're already at half a year and you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't accomplished anything. So yes, I have done all of those, but I'm certainly not like, I don't have a spreadsheet and I'm not, checking the boxes.
Yeah. Well, I say that because it's interesting. First of all, going from current state to desired state. I mean, that's something that I do with my clients, right? Like currently, where are you? Because you came to me for a reason. And where do you want to get to? You know what I mean? Like that's something very much. And you were talking about the updating. And the interesting thing is that I feel like there are certain areas of life that we can work on that are very clear of updating. For example, let's just say weight loss. It's very clear where you are. You know exactly where you are, how much you have to go. Even if we look at fitness wise, right? If you're someone that goes to the gym, you can tell, like, I want to be lifting X amount of weight. And then you know where you are, right? Whereas as far as you're like, I want to improve my cardio. Sometimes, unless you're really tracking, like I'm a dancer. Okay. So my cardio is dancing. It's a little bit harder to know where I stand in that of like, am I improving? Am I not? So my point is that I feel like in the area of improving life.
Yes.
There are some areas that it's easier to track than others. Right. And I look at the ones that are easier to track are often the ones that are easier to focus on and hit the goals than the other ones. As an outsider, I can look at my clients and go, hey, but remember when you were back here? Remember when you weren't using your voice and you weren't speaking up? Or remember when you didn't have confidence to do this? You know what I mean? But it's like you don't see confidence as like, there's no leaderboard or scale, or you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
But I think to your point, there are different things, and having that voice to check in to say, hey, remember when you were XYZ? People are like, I wasn't as confident as I was, and so people can see that. And I think in terms of what you said about the updating, it's so funny because I was taking a jog the other day, and you know how on the iPhone, it'll tell you, you're jogging less than you were this time last year. I was like, oh, don't judge me,
I know.
But it motivated me, back to the motivation. It motivated me to like kick it in gear. And I ended up running, I think about 30 minutes more than what I normally would because I was trying to catch up to what I was doing last year. So to your point, we do this as humans all the time, but it's just so quick. And I think something that really, if we tie it back to business, I think that things that we do naturally, when it comes to a business problem, we kind of forget our natural instincts and we just start to not know exactly what to do. Right. And so we need a framework and in business, I think having these buckets to think about problems and to break down solutions really helps motivate change.
Well, and I'm going to say yes, 100% in business. And as someone who is a life coach, when we can have this kind of structure in life as well, things often go better. You know what I mean? Like when you have the roadmap for life also, things typically go better. And you often do reach your goals faster and you achieve more when you're following a roadmap.
That is true. But, it's funny you mentioned that. Within BI Worldwide, we employ what we call behavioral economics. And it's not just what we call it. It's out there in the world. It's basically where economics and psychology meet each other. And it really defines why humans do the things they do in business, why they make the choices they make, why they make the decisions they make, whether it's a customer, an employee, a salesperson. And the research shows that 77% of all of human decisions are based in emotion. And only 23% are based in rational thinking, right? And so what happens is in a given day, we've got so many decisions to make that we don't have time to put everything into a structure and a formula. And so we just go on knee-jerk reaction. And so that's why I said a lot of times you have a problem, you go straight to a solution. And so stopping along the way and kind of forcing yourself to create a little journey process really is going to help you get to where you want to go so much faster.
Yes. Oh, I love it. Okay. I feel like we go into 18 different more conversations about that. And for the sake of time, we'll keep moving.
We'll keep rolling.
So what challenges do you face as a business professional?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I started in this industry in 2005. And when we look at 2005, things were a lot different. Now we're in 2023. And so, was LinkedIn out there? I don't know. Maybe it was. I can't remember. But basically, if you wanted to reach out to a prospective client, it was snail mail or email or phone, right? And so, now this is even pre, cell phone usage and texting. And so now we've got so many ways to reach people, right? So you still got snail mail, you still got phone, you still got, all the oldies but goodies, but you've got, Twitter, and you've got Instagram, and you've got texting, and you've got LinkedIn, and you've got LinkedIn mess, all of these different ways to get someone. And so what happens is buyers are definitely more guarded on who they're going to allow in the door, right? And so breaking through the clutter is a challenge that not only I face in business development, but I think all of us are facing in so many different ways, no matter what your role is, right? And I think the big thing is kind of taking it through my little model, or the little model, right? Is I've got this desired state of where I want to be. Maybe it's penetrating a particular account or breaking in or whatever the case may be. How do I get there? And thinking outside the box is something that I think has really helped me reach people that I wanted to reach. So having a creative approach, trying new things, going to networking meetings. I will say one thing, when I said the oldie but goodie, the biggest and the best way to meet clients or meet prospective clients is really face-to-face.
Face-to-face.
Right? We would not have been here had we not gone to the networking event that we met each other at, right?
Yes.
And so having that face-to-face connection where you can see people and you can kind of get a good vibe and feel, hey, I'd like to trust them with, a $500,000 project or $1 million project or whatever the case may be. Nothing beats that. So even though there's more ways and more clutter to get in front of people, the best way, I think, is the old-fashioned handshake or fist bump or, with COVID, elbow bump. Just to meet people as humans, because I think, with all the technology, it's great, but we've lost a lot of that.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that as well. And I feel like when you said cut through the clutter, just as much as all of the technology is a blessing. I mean, it's truly a blessing for us. And the same thing is it's such a distraction. It's also a distraction.
It is.
You know what I mean? And so then it's easier and it's harder at the same time. Like you know what I mean? I agree. Face to face, 100%.
Yeah, even on this call, my Teams was bouncing off, or I could hear the little chirp, and I'm like, okay, I've got to answer some Teams calls, not even emails. It's just, and so, like you said, it's the face to face, it's the personal connections, and I think that we're humans, right? And humans relate with other humans, and we buy from people that we know or like or trust, and it's hard to do that through email and technology.
You know what will be interesting is that as I'm going to say the younger millennials, okay? Because I know, millennials, it's a wide range. As the younger millennials and the Gen Zers come up who have grown up on the cell phone, right? I mean, they've grown up with it. It will be interesting to see if it's still face to face, or when they get into the position of making the decisions, like when they're the decision makers, if it's then they only want to be contacted through LinkedIn or email or whatever, or if they then get, I hate to say this, if they then get old enough that they also like the face to face.
Well, it's like a hybrid, and this is just from what I'm seeing. I see that the folks in the millennial and Gen Z group, they are definitely super open to connecting with you if you have been verified and vetted through technology, right? Okay. So if I say, oh, hey, I met Kelly at this event and she said that I should talk to you, then it's like, great, let's set up a meeting, right? Whereas if I just go directly, or, then there might be a little bit of a challenge there. But, having those introductions, I think even through technology, it just really helps. And I don't think that ever is going to go away.
Yeah. That's good. Okay. So for you
might have to get,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was saying you might have to get in person first to get to where you want to be with someone.
Yes. Okay. So for you, what are your goals? What are your goals in business?
I thought you meant life. Okay.
And life. Either one. Start with one, then go to the
other. Well, let's go for life, right?
Okay.
So goals in life, it's just to really help other people. That's really important for me. And people will say, oh, well, you're in business, how are you helping other people? It's like I help people every day, right? So I'm helping people feel more valued at work. I help people feel more recognized, more seen at their jobs. I help people feel excited about what they do. And so I think that those are things that I really love doing, and I just want to do more of that. Outside of the work aspect, helping people, one of the passion projects for me is the Alzheimer's Association. I've personally been affected with that in my family, having loved ones that have unfortunately suffered from this particular disease. And so just helping build awareness and research and participate in the Alzheimer's walks and raising money, that's something that I'm really involved in.
Yeah, that's great. I'm with the women's organization, and we are actually one of the largest walks in the St. Charles area. And one day we're going to be one of the largest walks in the St. Louis area.
Oh, okay.
Raise a ton of money. It is a big, it is a focus of ours all of third quarter. It's our entire, there's 400 plus women. It's our entire nonprofit. That's what we do, is Alzheimer's for third quarter.
Yeah. And first, thank you so much for all of your work and your efforts in that, and for the whole team that's working with you, because literally every dollar helps families that are impacted with this disease. And so praying for a cure, hopefully soon.
Absolutely. Yes. And I'm sorry that you're affected by it. And unfortunately, these days, I mean, I think it's more common that families are affected by it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Totally. It's like everyone's touched by it by almost like 1 degree of separation.
Right.
So those are kind of like my personal and professional goals. And in terms of where I want to be career-wise, had you asked me this in 2020, or not 2020, but Basically like in 2005 or 2004, I was very, I want to be here by this and here by, and back to that methodology. And thank goodness I have lightened up. I mean, yes, I have career goals. I have financial goals of where I want to be, but I really, over the years, one of the things that I learned, like my aha moment, is that life is going to work itself out for
Yes.
you. Put in
Yes.
the work, do what you need
Yes.
to do, have goals. Don't just meander around there thinking things are going to happen. Work toward them, but ultimately, we might have a plan and life will take us another route. And I have really learned that in my life. It's given me so much more peace. It's given me so much more just less stress, because I know that all I need to do is keep on the path, keep learning, keep growing, keep being open to new challenges that scare me, because I'm going to get better and better and better. And it's going to get me to where I'd like to go. And so I guess maybe I wouldn't say I leave with you on that, because maybe you have some more questions, but that I think has been the biggest thing. And 20, 30 some odd years ago, I would not have said that. I would have been, well, and next year I would like to be here. And then 5 years from there, I would like, and that's great if people have that type of plan. I allow life and my higher power to work it all out.
Yes. The universe always, and by the universe, I mean the higher power,
Right.
has our back.
Yes.
Like always wants the best for us, always. And when we truly believe that, sometimes I think, his plan is greater than ours, right? And just let that happen. Yeah, that's fabulous.
Absolutely.
Okay, I have one more question. What accomplishments are you really proud of that you'd like to share? This is a time that you get to brag on yourself.
All right, let's see. Let me go down my list. Okay, so accomplishments. I kind of talked a little bit about it before, but the Alzheimer's walk. When I did it when I was living in LA, I did it a couple of times there, and the last time I did it in LA, we raised, I don't know, it was over $1,000, but we did it like in less than a week.
Wow.
So that was, and it wasn't just me, it was the team that I got a team together. I was a team captain, but I got a team together in like a week or two.
Yeah.
Raised the money, and it was such a good experience. And then did it again this past year. So we had the walk here in St. Louis and also raised money for that. And I think that those are really big accomplishments for me, because again, it's going to other people who need help.
Yes.
And then career-wise, I would say when I was at Tiffany, I got the Charles Lewis Tiffany Award, Tiffany and Company's founder. And in that particular year, I think it was 33, don't quote me on that, but only 33 associates globally received this recognition. It's the highest award in Tiffany and Company. And so I was flown to New York with the other 33 people from all around the globe. And we were at the Palace Hotel, the Loft Palace Hotel in Manhattan. Just if you could imagine, just like the whining, the dining, but it was just really a really great way to recognize the top, not even sales performers, but it was just people who emulated and supported the values of Tiffany and Company. And you couldn't apply for it. It was a nomination kind of thing. And it was amazing. It would be something I always will remember.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Oh yeah. And then, you're shaking hands with the CEO at the time. And there was a string quartet, and I mean, it was just amazing. And it was just one of those things.
Did you get your own blue box with a white ribbon?
Of course. Of course I did. Yeah. I have a photograph afterwards. I'll send it to you. And you can see the smile on my face because I was just so excited. it was not something I was expecting at all. I mean, you got to think about it. It was like tons of employees all over the world.
Right.
And so only around 33 that particular year. So I was one of the 33.
That's great. That's great. Well, congratulations. You have shared some great nuggets. I love the 4 buckets that you talked about in business, having that clear roadmap. Like you have shared some great things for all of us to be thinking about.
Yep.
Where can people connect with you if they would like to follow you? Where should they go? Is LinkedIn the best place for you?
LinkedIn is the best place for me. You can find me at Adrian Rice, Adrian Rice, just like the food. You can tell I've said that many times, right? But yeah, you can find me there, and then feel free to follow me, LinkedIn with me. I typically post thought leadership on employee engagement, sales recognition, customer loyalty. And so I'll post thought leadership on those types of things, and feel free to follow and engage however you guys want.
Yeah, perfect. So for my business owners out there that are looking, definitely follow him so that you can hear what's going on in that area, what the trends are. I'm going to, what's current, what you need to do, what his advice is. And your company works with big companies, correct?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
We work with Fortune 500 companies, right. Really, really high revenues, but the goal is to really help organizations that need help. So if you're interested in learning more about BI Worldwide and our services and what we can offer, you can always find us at biworldwide.com.
Another reason that Adrian and I connected is because we've both done theater.
So we have certainly done theater, and
you could definitely do commercials right there with that voice, couldn't you? You could do commercials. Yeah.
From your mouth to God's ears, right?
Yes. Well, it has been a pleasure having you on. I will put Adrian's LinkedIn link in the bios or in the show notes so that you can connect that way with him. And I encourage you to do so because he is just an absolute delight. And I want to thank you for being on the podcast today, taking time out of your day to be here with us.
Oh, I thought you were talking to the audience.
No, just you. I'm talking to you right now.
Sorry about that. Yes, thanks for having me, Kelly. This has been great. I think the cool thing was when you first asked me to be on this, I was like, oh, I've got to, I was me 20 years ago. I've got to have everything regimented. And we just are flowing with it. And I felt very comfortable with you. So thank you so much for having me on and exposing me to your audience. And to folks out there, it's been a pleasure. And if I can ever help you guys, or if there's anything our organization can help with, feel free to reach out.
Excellent. Thank you. And for those listening this week to Winning in Business, I appreciate you tuning in. I invite you to share and comment and like this episode. And as always, I will see you again next week. Have a great one. Thank you for being a part of the Winning in Business podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode and want to rise up to your next level of success, but are worried about increased stress, time for work and yourself and your family, not to mention being exhausted, I'd like to invite you to a complimentary strategy call where I'll show you how you can do it all. I'll help you reclaim time, keep your sanity, handle the chaos with ease, and move to the next level of success that you deserve and desire. I hope you found value in listening today. Please always leave your comments, feedback, or questions. We check them all. I want you to continue winning in business and reach your next level of success. See you next time.